Hello there, my name's Mark, and this is a quick update because yesterday, as I was doing another video, Fantasy Flight Games released news that they're doing a Lord of the Rings cooperative app-based board game due for the second quarter. So that is something really exciting. But my first thoughts was, wow, this is it. Runebound's dead. Is this Runebound 3.0 with the new license skinning on top of it? Leave comments below. I'm going to flick to my photo slideshow system and compare the two. Runebound versus the new, what we know so far, Lord of the Rings Journeys to the Middle-earth. So what we know so far, a lovely big beautiful box with beautiful artwork, reusing the artwork from their other games like Lord of the Rings Living Card Game, possibly even their Lord of the Rings Online Steam game. It's a box show. It's 1 to 5 adventurers, 1 to 5 players, so it can be played solo. Purely cooperative, nothing all against the AI, nothing competitive here. And you do need an app. I know that's contentious for some people. I love the app. I think it's going to be very versatile, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it in future board games. Designers are going to need to level up and get a bit technical. I do like the old systems, but I think we should look forward to these new technologies and what they can bring. So anyway, I said that this was going to be comparing Runebound. That's the closest comparison to me. Other people have mentioned Mansion of Madness, bit of Descent. I'm seeing a little bit of Gears of War maybe. What else did I see in there? Runebound, Descent, Mansion of Madness. Fallout, people are saying Fallout because of the tile system as well. Reminiscent of Mage Knight as well, potentially. Anyway. So I'm starting with a picture of the Runebound board. So that's a fixed map, so not very replayable in a way. If they were doing another expansion, I'd maybe expect an overlay for this board or a completely new board in a different area. It's very good for just tossing out onto your table, and it mostly being set up. In this setup, you were just placing on adventure sites to say marks whether you've been there or not. And it was there mainly to determine how far you could travel when you rolled dice. We don't know the travel mechanic in Lord of the Rings. They haven't mentioned that yet. I'm wondering if it's just going to be action based, not even hero based. Maybe one of the stats determines how far you can move, or you just move as a group, 2 spaces, or 1 space through heavy forest and mountains. Anything could affect that really, and we don't really know too early in the days. This is the Lord of the Rings map. As you can see, there are enemies on it. We didn't have that in the Runebound game. So are they going to be static enemies? Are they going to move towards you? The tiles seem to be 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes, and they seem to have lines through them, some of them, showing that there are different areas to travel from and to. And also you can see the spaces where they don't line up, so that's obviously impassable, I would have thought, unless maybe eagles and things coming into it. Is this long blue line, is that going to represent a river? Is that the Anduin, if I've pronounced that correctly? Or is it coast? What area of the Lord of the Rings is it? Will we see cities named? Mirkwood, Lothlorien, Bree? Will they be on a specific tile? It says the tiles are double-sided. Other than these black tiles, I'm guessing they're representing a cave system, an underground system that maybe you get in by getting past this troll over here or something like that. That'll be interesting to see. Can't quite make out the details on some of these, whether we've got villages. That looks a little bit hilly hobbity on that one. Definitely ruggedy mountainous terrain here. What's it all going to mean? Very excited to see. Another exciting advancement, Runebound was purely over the map. When you encountered an adventure site, you flip it over. If it was an enemy, you just flipped your POG tokens and had a fight. This one is taking you into a more Descent style system. Though there's no dice so far, it seems to be saying that things will be determined by skill deck, and we'll get onto that in a moment. Initially I was disappointed on these little square tiles, but if it's just a mini game, it's probably going to be enough. And looking at the app, they do jazz up these, so these tiles had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, and it looks the same on the other side, just green. But on the app it shows you that you've got walls. I think there's another picture somewhere online where you've got actual enemies on these tiles, and again there was a slight wall, so that might determine some sort of movement system to move from one. It's sort of the way it's laid out. That again, that's where it got a little bit Gears of War for me, because they have these lines that sort of determine which zone that you're in for movement, not just 1-inch hexes or squares like say D&D game and most miniature games, even like Descent. So anyway, that's as much as we know about these tiles. I wonder if there's going to be some sort of plastic representation for these walls. These other ones, like the trees, are probably going to be a bit superfluous and for your imagination only. I expect, though, I'm sure 3D printers will start churning out little bits to make your board look pimped up as well. Another Runebound comparison, they directly states that to pass an agility check, you're going to draw the number next to your agility skill, exactly the same as Runebound, and if you flip over a star symbol, then you've passed. What they don't go into is if you can have multiple star symbols, because you can see that this card here says you can discard this card to gain a star symbol. So that maybe if you, this might have been a card that you keep in your hand. It doesn't mention having a hand of cards yet, but maybe you flipped over these three. There were no stars, but you have this in your hand, so you discard it and then pass. Or maybe there's a benefit of having more than one star, so if this was in your hand, instead you discard it and get a greater number of passes, maybe. That's my speculation. And I'm just comparing it here, as I say, to Runebound. There were 5 stats in The Hobbit, I'm calling it Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and it's mine, Body, Mind and Spirit in Runebound. So they've added more, it gives them more flexibility on the side of encounters you'll need to pass against. And these are the cards that you would have flipped, so they all have the same back, but when you flip them, as you can see in Guiding Light, there's a little black star. That would mean you've passed the test that you were trying to do. Mathematicians on Board Game Geek said that this system gave you a 40% chance of passing. However, the Lord of the Rings game is going to customise your deck, so I'm wondering how that's going to work. I wonder if you can customise it to have better abilities on the cards but less passes, or you want cards with maybe less ability but much higher chance of passing. Shenanigans like that to balance up. That'd be interesting. Now the heroes. Who do you think these heroes are? 2 in the middle, Gimli and Bilbo. Is this Legolas? Is that Arwen? Ooh, what was she called from the Lord of the Rings? It was someone made up in Lord of the Rings. One of the green lore characters, I can't quite remember. And this doesn't look like Aragorn to me. I would have thought he'd go hooded if he was Aragorn, maybe. Or a bit more of his grizzly, beardy, moustachy face. And a nicer sword than that, or his broken sword even. To represent Aragorn. So I think these are 2 generic rangers. This doesn't look like Legolas to me. That looks like a generic elf. That may be Arwen. Not too sure. Speculation. What do you think? Post below. And on to the monsters. I think it says there are 24, maybe 25 monsters in the box, and I'm thinking most games tends to double up on the same model type, so I'm expecting we'll see maybe 3 of each of these, looking exactly the same. So it looks like we've got goblins, a troll, a white skeleton of some kind, an archer. I don't know if that's going to be a goblin. It's this one. There's no Urukai here. Maybe it's just an orc, a wolf, a warg, maybe. But adding those up, if you times each of those by 3, then that means leaves, I think, 3, maybe 4 models left to represent a more unique monster. Or we haven't seen any spiders. You've got to have spiders in Lord of the Rings, so maybe just 3 spiders for some reason didn't make it onto this photo. That's my speculation on that. And for some reason, here's a playmat. Not necessary, but it says you can get this in a pre-order, and it's just, I find your table size dictates where you put your cards. But like Runebound, this is why I think you're going to have a hand of those skill cards as well. When you've got certain trophies in Runebound, you could then play a permanent skill out in front of you, sort of like a level up. So it's got prepared skills here. I'm wondering if that's how that mechanic's going to work. or is it going to be some sort of Gears of War mechanic where you discard cards and it's sort of how healthy and conscious you are. If you run out of cards in your hand, you go unconscious until someone heals you. And then the right hand side here is just your items. In Runebound, again, you have the same sort of restrictions. You have 2 items in your hand, shield and sword, or a double-handed weapon. Only 1 set of armor, you're not going around with plate mail and studded leather armor on. Maybe a trinket, a ring, or a necklace, or a crown. It also mentions titles, and I'm surprised that none of these are sort of titles, and there's not title space on your mat. Now, what did we see token-wise? That was that. Is that picture with the token? Anyway, that's about it on my rundown on what's their breaking news said. So some sort of star symbol there, some round symbols there. A green, maybe condition, maybe he's been poisoned. That seems like it's got 2 symbols on it, so maybe you're flipping 1 card before with 1 success on it. This one maybe has 2, or it's, I don't know. The leaf, I'm guessing that means you're the Hobbit character, or in the Hobbit's party maybe. All guessing at tiny blurred pictures at the moment. So I'm going to end it there. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think we're going to see Runebound 3rd edition with an app, or is Fancy Flight Asmodee going down? This is all licensed games for us. We can reuse the artwork from our other games, so that's saving us a penny. It's still going to be a great adventure game either way, I think. I hope. I do worry sometimes they run a bit long, Fancy Flight games, so I'm hoping it's not epically long. It also mentions there's 14 adventures. It mentions that they're highly replayable. It mentions side quests. If that's like Descent, if you get an expansion, then that will add. If you went to replay one of the previous quests in Descent, then you could have new monsters in that quest and also new side quests. After you've done maybe a core campaign quest, you then get a choice of something new from your new content that you've added, as well as a whole new campaign branch as well. So that's why I like the app, because there's lots they can do. Also, it does say you should have it like a collector's token on the app that says how much of the system that you own. So that's sort of that. Want to get it all. Collector's fatigue. Shenanigans in the app. So clever work. Fancy Flight Games. So it's the first question: is this Runebound killer? And now I want to say, bring back Battle Lore, or make Battle Lore Lord of the Rings. Well, we see that later in the year. Let me know your thoughts below. I'm going to hit the stop recording and upload. So ciao for now, namaste, all that, goodbye.